We are back on Morning Line. Thanks for joining us. Our guest this morning is Davidson County Sheriff Daron Hall. Lots of interesting stories going around. I've got a question or two for you, but let's take a call for you from several folks waiting. Let's go to Ann. Ann, good morning.
Good morning.
Hey,
this is still sounds a little crazy, but I've got to ask it. My daughter spent 10 months walking across the country, and when she took some survival training, and I thought this was crazy when she first told me this was going to be her protection until I researched it. But she was told to take bear spray and to use that as her only protection.
hairspray.
Bear, B-E-A.
Bear spray. Something that would be a repellent if a bear attacked her.
Yes, because it had more accuracy. It would drop any human being to their knees, and she would be able to get away.
Have you ever heard of that?
No, but I mean, if it has bear in it,
yeah,
I don't know. I mean,
it's got to be pretty potent.
It's got to be pretty strong.
Now, obviously, with mace, how close do you want the bear to get before? What's the range on these pepper sprays? Like,
oh gosh,
you know,
it's
you have to be like this close, or can you get?
Yeah, it has a direct spray to it. I mean, it's not a wide deal. I mean, I'm spraying a direct spray, and you do the alphabet. You're doing letters, is what they tell you to do.
But you can't fire a shot 10 feet across of a stream, maybe.
No, it has a stream, and I'm trying to remember what the distance is in the training. But I mean, it's literally a spray. It's not a you know, a spread out. It's a direct hit, and you're trying to contact, and then it'll obviously dissipate. But yeah, you don't want it to you got officers involved, other people involved, so you want it to be direct as it can be, so you're not affecting people who aren't involved. But I've never heard of bear spray, but it sounds effective to me.
Let's go to Grady. Grady, good morning.
Good morning, Nicholas. Sheriff Daron Hall.
Good morning.
You know, O.J. Simpson agreed to be a model prisoner while he was in prison. And, of course, he got paroled early, too. But he said he had broke up several occasions where inmates were fighting. And, you know, you got an inmate like that, and you got all these people in one pod. And, you know, you've got gang-related assaults on other prisoners. And I'll hang up and listen to your comments on that.
Okay. Yeah, we were talking about prisoners and corrections officers having problems, but, you know, within the population.
Yeah, I don't trust O.J. Simpson on what he says, but I would say that it's probably unlikely or very likely that in his time in jail, there have been assaults or fights or whatever.
He was there 9 years.
Right, and there are assaults and fights in schools today and in workplaces and grocery stores. So I mean, to live in an environment like that and to go through that, it's not unusual to have what would be a disagreement or a fight or assault, and inmate on inmate, and of course staff and inmate as well. And so it is a necessary part, unfortunately, of how you're living in a small confined area. The temperature ranges, the moods range, the life changes, the medications. There's so many factors that go into it, and it's amazing to me across the country that you keep maintain the control that you do. It's a tough place to be, tough place to live as it relates to that, and our staff live in those same quarters. And so I don't disagree that there were fights. I'm sure wherever O.J. Simpson was, I just have learned not to believe much he says.
Yeah,
so
just can't believe much, and he is getting out. So let's go to Brian. Brian, good morning.
Good morning. Just a few things real quick. I was going to mention about the heat and if your worker guys, are they still out here in that because it's so hot? And then the second thing, though, that video you showed, that was pretty shocking. I mean, not to make light of it, shocking as in being shocked. Did those deputies know the camera was on? And shoot, they got the guy tied down and they're like torturing him. That's bizarre.
That's a great point. We can hit on two of those. And well, first, go ahead and answer with the workers out in the heat.
Yeah. So we get out very early in the morning in our work crews, and obviously provide water and training and
it's like anyone else working outside in the heat.
And we have an officer with them supervising their work, and so there are days and times, as you can imagine, even the rain and even the cold that we call that off. But I think we manage it pretty well, a lot like they do with schools and so forth. So we're not forcing them to work. We have job assignments, and they sign up for the job, and then obviously, if there's a problem, we try to accommodate that. But yeah, cutting a lot of grass outside, doing a lot of work as are other people. So a very, very tough time of year.
Nice for cameras. There's cameras throughout. Now, yeah, they had to know that there's a camera in that room. Now, sometimes you're so focused on a job you forget everything else. Right. By the way, the deputies you have are not getting the body cameras the way Metro PD, are they?
Not now, and we're looking at that down the road.
And I know they have different duties. Right. So in the jail here, cameras would be in that location where an individual is being restrained?
Yes, and for all sorts of reasons. I tell everybody all the time, it is the best protection you have from liability as an officer, because there's going to be all sorts of allegations. And keep in mind, a lot of people coming to jail are strung out, drunk, on all sorts of different things. And tomorrow morning, what they're going to remember about what happened to them, it could be all over the map, including you spit on me, you assaulted me, you stole my wallet, you called my mother a bad word. All of that's going to be said from a person, and you need something proving you did your job. Yep. And so we have cameras in every place you can imagine. We want them every place you can imagine. I mean, I've lived through the days where we used to run and grab the camera and film it.
Yeah.
And
now they're in there. By the way, like with the new facility that's being built, cameras will be everywhere, I imagine, except in the showers, right? Restrooms and showers.
Right.
But in cells?
Yes, it will shoot into the cell. You wouldn't have it in there.
But the main area is like where they're restraining. So they had to know, and it goes both ways. Obviously, it's mainly there because you want it for protection for you, because people make things up.
That's right.
But if something goes astray, and if indeed we'll see how this plays out, that video will play a role.
Right, and whoever trained them in their agency, or it could be at the state level that trained them, we do our own training. We have one of the best trainers in the country. He's fantastic. He's traveled the world doing what he does here. And, you know, that's the person who really is the best to look at the video and say, did I train him to do it that way? Yeah. Really, because there are techniques used, especially in a restraint chair and so forth, and even tasing, that need to be really, was the individuals trained the wrong way? Then that's the organization's responsibility to take. Right. If you weren't trained that way, the individuals got to take responsibility. And so I think that's the real question. And without looking in detail, I think that's the first thing you ask yourself. Did they do what they were told? And I don't mean by the sheriff. I'm talking about by the policy. And were they trained to do it that way? And then that separates who's responsible. If they follow what they were told, then you got to sue based on what they were told.
They were training, yeah.
Whereas
if they broke from policy, then you go after.
Right. And I think that's where we got to figure this out, because again, you know, it's important to know, you know, what they were doing and how it affected what the outcome was, but also were they following the rules.
I agree. Let's go to Stan. Stan, good morning.
Good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Good morning, Stan.
I have 2 questions for the sheriff, please.
Okay.
Number 1, how's the new jail coming? And number 2, which is probably going to sound terrible, but I was walking my dog one day, and I always carry hornet spray, you know, for animals. But this idiot came up to me and started an argument, and I sprayed him with that hornet spray. That guy was gone. And so it don't have to be pepper spray, and it might be illegal to use hornet spray, but I got news for him. He was gone. He couldn't see me. He couldn't see where he was going.
What's hornet spray? You mean like, is it a bug insecticide? I mean, is that what hornet spray?
Just a can you buy, Nick, you know, the hornet spray.
Oh, you know what he's talking about?
I'm sure there's some for wasps, some are called. I suspect this, but you know, Stan,
I'm gonna hang up and get y'all's answer.
All right,
y'all are nice people. I appreciate you.
Sure,
Stan might have a new business.
Yeah,
I mean, it's idiot spray. You
label
spray idiots
spray.
that are.
It works.
That's awesome. That's he said I sprayed some idiot and he went away. I thought. Well, Stan, I really appreciate the other question that we always talk about on here is the status of the new jail.
The first wall went up the other day. We drove by the look, they've got a wall up. Now I don't know what that is.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Yes, you do.
Okay, it is.
If you look at the wall to the right of it, which you'll be able to tell is the new jail.
Okay. Yeah.
To the left of it is the new behavioral care center, the mental health treatment center that I've been begging for forever.
Yeah, good.
So that wall, I have no idea why they put it up so fast, but that wall separates the 2 buildings.
I see.
So when you
arrive,
the
first one, I was like, wow,
me too.
That's pretty cool.
But yeah, it's on schedule, they tell me. I mean, if you made me guess, I think it's late fall of 19 is what they're telling me.
And what about these millions of dollars in cost overruns?
Yeah, I have nothing to do with that. That needs to call the mayor's office and figure out.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. But you always hear about stuff like we heard about the Sound Stadium cost a little bit more.
Right.
And now we want to build a soccer stadium. It's going to cost. I'm nothing against soccer. I'm just wary of building new stadiums.
It reminds me of buying a car. I'm helping my mother buy a car right now, and had a little friction yesterday because the people say one thing, and these are friends of mine. I know them, but But then it always is a little more. But I didn't have the taxes in there. Well, what about the transport cost? I mean, and you just feel like, well, wait a minute. You know,
just tell me how much the darn thing costs.
Here's where I'm prepared to pay.
I need a budget for that.
That's right. So, but it is, I think, on schedule, and it is moving. It's going to be, I think, a state-of-the-art facility by the time it's all finished. And you know, I say this every time because I just need to sleep better. But it's in the wrong place. But it's going to be a good building, and we're going to make it work, and it's going to be downtown, as we now know, and we'll make it work through the court system. And you know, I'm anxious to get our staff a new place to work. I mean, that building was horrendous, and we're now in a building that down the street. We've been there forever too. That's an old grocery warehouse, not, you know, retrofitted. So it's nice to have a state-of-the-art facility one day.
It'll be good. All right, we'll take a break on that note. More of your phone calls, more of our conversation with the sheriff right after this.